Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiawe, and Sugaree peoples. My name is Ann Lakaitis, and I will be the worship assistant this morning for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our members and visitors, we're very glad you're here this morning, in person or with us online. And we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. We have some announcements this morning. Please stay after worship next Sunday, March 29th, for a church-wide covered dish potluck with an Easter egg hunt for our children. Everyone is invited to bring food to share with an ingredient list for people with allergies and dietary restrictions. The membership team will provide tea and water for drinks. Toward the end of our meal, all children are invited to participate in an Easter egg hunt filled with colorful eggs and goodie bags. Please bring a basket or a bag for collecting eggs. The Salisbury Women's Group will gather this Saturday, March 28th at 10 at John Calvin Presbyterian Church in Salisbury. We warmly welcome anyone who is non-binary or identifies as a woman. Karen F. will present a brief history of encaustic wax art, followed by a hands-on demonstration. Attendees will then have the opportunity to create their own monoprints. Snacks will be provided. Please bring your own beverage. Contact Tara or Lisa with questions at womensgroupsg@puc.org. The brand new Piedmont Men's Group will have its first meeting this Saturday, March 28th at 11 o'clock at the Sweet Spot in Concord for brunch and fellowship. We warmly welcome anyone who identifies as a man. For more information, contact John or Brian at mensgroup@puc.org. Interested in learning more about Unitarian Universalism and possible membership? Join us for UU 101. Reverend Amy will lead this class to share about UU history, beliefs, and rituals 1 week from Monday on March the 30th, 6:30 to 7:45 via Zoom. Contact Reverend Amy if you are interested. An evening beyond the rainbow goods and services auction will be April 25th, and we need your auction submissions to make our Emerald City shine. Whether it be offerings of heart, brains, or courage, we welcome your contributions. Printed submission sheets are at the University Gathering on the sanctuary counter. Have questions or need inspiration? Contact Becky at auction@puc.org. And one final one, fellowship potluck dinners will begin on Saturday, April 11th from 6 to 8. This dinner will be held in our meeting house, and there will be room for 8 adult members to sign up. Hosts are Val Whitfield and Sandy Vermillion. Please see Sandy today at the back following the service if you are interested in this dinner or future ones. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service. Or if you are on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Good morning. It's wonderful to see all of you here on this beautiful spring day. When I got out of the car and could smell just everything blooming outside, I know it's going to impact my voice. I may sneeze a few times, but for those of you who are joining us virtually, I hope that you also can just imagine the smell of new life. And that we've got a lot of wonderful things going on at the church the next few weeks. Appreciate Ann going through that big list. Please keep an eye, look at the bulletin, keep an eye on the emails, so that you can help be a part of this community with all the wonderful things taking place. So as we prepare to light our chalice this morning, hear now these words from Reverend Scott Taylor. We kindle this light to help us look upon the world anew. May it help us remember that reverent eyes lead to revelation. In the glow of this hour, May attention be our prayer, the vehicle through which we love this world and enable it to love us back. I invite you now to please join me in singing the words to the lighting of our chalice, the symbol of our faith. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin. Ground of all being, in this room and beyond it, we are learning to see each other. Not the quick assessments, not the categories, but the full, complicated truth of each and every life.
Help us honor the gift of uninvited presence, to listen without planning our reply, to make space for stories that take time to unfold, to ask who is missing from here and why.
When we accompany those in pain, Keep us from the tyranny of fixing. Teach us to stay while the crisis passes by, to show up in the unglamorous middle.
May we become communities where every voice matters, where margins become centers, where attention itself is love made visible.
Our opening hymn is found in our great hymnal, number 213. There's a wideness in your mercy. Please be seated. Miss Jennifer is away with her family this weekend, and we are very fortunate to have Mr. Jack, who's going to come and do our Time for All Ages. So I invite any of our young ones to please come forward.
There. Yeah. Wow. Hi, boys and girls. How are you guys today? Good. You really look good. I'm really happy to be here. I can tell that. I can tell that. So Miss Jennifer isn't going to be here today. Did you hear that? She is, sorry. But now I'm going to be her replacement. Is that okay? Yeah. Good. I'm not going to come to RE. No, you'll have teachers at RE, but that's a good question. I did bring a friend, though. Yeah, I brought a friend. Do you remember? You haven't seen him for a while, huh? You remember his name? No. His name is. You're right. My name is Newbie, and I'm very happy to be here with y'all. And I'm going to be listening to this story and the way we talk. So I'm just going to be one of you guys, okay? Okay. Yeah, but I'm kind of silly. I'm kind of silly too. During later on in the service, the adults are going to hear a story by the guy by the name of Yeah, thank you. Thich Nhat Hanh. Isn't that Thich Nhat Hanh? Can we say that together? Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh. It kind of Thich. Yes, sort of. It's a different name than we're used to because it's a Vietnamese name. But let me show you a picture of this man. You already saw it? That is Thich Nhat Hanh. You want to see Thich Nhat Hanh?
It looks like a rock.
So the adults can't see this. So I'd like you to describe what this guy looks like. How would you describe him, Jonah? He has praying hands. Uh-huh. Wow, that's a mole on his eyebrow. How would you describe him?
He doesn't have a lot of hair.
Okay, he has no hair. Yeah. Well, it's kind of shaved. Yeah. How would you describe him?
He has like a brown shirt.
A brown shirt, a robe, right? Like a brown robe. Newbie, he looks what? You think he looks mad? He looks calm. I love it. Okay, Newbie, what do you think? Well, I think he looks calm too, and he looks very kind. And as I look at his face, I think he's looking at me, paying attention to me. Does he look like he's paying attention to you? This guy has superpowers of paying attention. He is the best paying attention guy probably in the universe. He's being quiet. And oh my goodness, that is so good. He's really good at meditating too. Let me tell you a little bit more about Thich Nhat Hanh. He can't fly. He doesn't have that superpower. So look at this. This is Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh, you got it? Yes, okay. Oh, well, this is a boy, and this is about a little bit older than you guys. Maybe like almost about your age, Cassidy. And at this age, he told his parents that he wanted to be a monk. A monk? Not a monkey. Let me tell you what a monk is. A monk is someone, well, like this. Whoops, like this, that has a robe and they live by themselves. They don't talk to many people outside. They really are in their own. But Thich Nhat Hanh was a little bit different. Thich Nhat Hanh felt that he didn't really just want to live he wanted to go out in the world. He wanted to go out where the pain and suffering of people were. He wanted to help people. It's a little bit like Unitarian Universalists. What we do here is important. What we do here is important, but paying attention is also important. And going out and doing things outside this room is also important, right? So he did this when he was a young boy. He left his family. I have a personal story about a monk. Do you know that no, it's not a monkey, it's a monk. But I have a nephew who is a monk in Sri Lanka. And he's my brother's son. And he doesn't have any internet access. He doesn't have any phones. He can't play PlayStation. No. And the only way we can communicate with him is through letters. So he feels that we can't text because he doesn't have a phone. So anyway, at this young age, Thich Nhat Hanh decided to be a monk. And he became a very, very famous monk. So he had these superpowers of paying attention. He was like the best at paying attention. So we're gonna do a little exercise in paying attention, just like Thich Nhat Hanh. He can't fly. No. Superpower. But see if you can show your superpowers of paying attention. So we're gonna have Newbie. Listen, you need to talk to Newbie. Newbie's gonna speak, so we need to pay attention. I have a question for Newbie. Newbie, yes. How did you feel when you first came to preschool and went in with all these new kids? And how did you feel? Well,
I felt kind of lonely because no one knew me. And I didn't know what a chalice was. I didn't know when we were supposed to come in with the adults, when we were supposed to leave. I was really, really feeling lonely. And besides, I'm a puppet. So I was a little bit different. So, okay, so what you guys did a really good job of welcoming and paying attention to Newbie. What did you think you could do to help Newbie, and what did you do to help Newbie feel better? What could you do? Jonah? You can give him a nice high five. Like if he's alone and not wanting to do, yeah? What else? Yeah, so noticing that he's feeling scared, right? And then going over and giving him a hug. That's really good. So, but any new kid, we can do the same thing, right? If we see a kid that's not feeling good, what do? Give them a high five. And help them. Yeah, exactly. And I think all adults should do this too, right? I think so. Okay, so adults are going to hear more about Thich Nhat Hanh. So do you know that name, Thich Nhat Hanh? Yes, Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay, and now we'll go to our search. Yes, and you can already, yeah, that's it. And does somebody want to carry Jonah? I know you all do. And does somebody want to carry Thich Nhat Hanh back? Me. Okay, well you can share. You can decide where you put them. Okay. All right. Okay, that's it. Leave this friendly place.
Thank you so much, Jack. Really appreciate all the things you do for the church and your bravery and willingness to do this. I was thinking this morning, it's been 2 weeks since the time change, and I think all the kids are on the proper time change now. Look at the parents, right? They know. So yeah, they're awake and ready to really engage. So at this point in the service, we are moving towards our time for ritual and sacred sharing. We share joys and sorrows, concerns and milestones. We light a candle this morning first for the people of Hawaii with the devastating flooding and for their safety. We light a candle for the war with the Middle East, for peace to quickly emerge, for all the lives who've been lost and the people harmed, and for the leaders of our government to do all they can to work towards peace in this world. For all who are being impacted by ICE raids and activity, for all areas of violence around the world, especially the ongoing war in Ukraine, and for our country, that we might continue to work towards creating a society filled with love and empathy, civil rights, and justice for every person. Now at this time you are invited to come forward as you feel called to do so. I invite you to come forward along the far wall. You may fill out a prayer card and place it on the prayer stand. You may light your own candle of joy or concern, or you may place a stone in our shared water together. We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. At this time, we will have a period for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then we will have a period of silence where I invite you to pay attention to your own heart this morning and your own spirit, your own divine light, and see what emerges for you. What is being spoken to you this morning as you listen to yourself. After a period of silence, we will join in our musical meditation together.
Our wisdom reading this morning are words from Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen Buddhist monk and peace activist. Deep listening is the kind of listening that can help relieve the suffering of another person. You can call it compassionate listening. You listen with only one purpose: to help him or her to empty his heart. Even if he says things that are full of wrong perceptions, full of bitterness, you are still capable of continuing to listen with compassion, because you know that listening like that, you give that person a chance to suffer less.
As I was preparing for today's message and looking at a wide variety of things for our wisdom teaching, so the beautiful blooms are getting to me, but there's so many wonderful things about offering attention to others, listening to others. Thich Nhat Hanh has, there are so many things he's written about this exact topic. I think one of the reasons he is one of the people who has so much to say about this, so many words to offer about this, is because he spends, and throughout his life has spent so much time listening to himself, listening to that divine light within. And it's a, I'm going to take a drink, okay. My special spring hot teas to help my voice. But he has listened to so much to his own inner divine light that he can help lead us and in ways that we can offer attention to others. Now, I'd like to begin by having us take just a few moments. I want to ask each one of you to really focus on a memory, to remember a time when someone was not listening to you, was not paying attention. Now, it might have been a time at work when your idea or suggestion was ignored. It might have been trying to communicate with a health professional who was trying to scoot you out to the door so they could go on to the next person. Perhaps it was a child who wasn't listening to you when you had information they needed to have, right? Or perhaps it was simply with a loved one or a partner, someone who ignored what you were saying or was only giving cursory attention. As you reflect on when that time was, think about how it felt, how you felt in that moment, how you might still feel some in this moment in time. Not to be heard, to be given the respect of attention. Now, it might have made you feel sad, angry, frustrated. Perhaps you felt isolated. Perhaps it gave you pain. Regardless, I think we all can agree that those memories we have, and I'm certain, all of us, we have more than just one of those. Those were situations which were painful, which were not helpful in any way. And now I invite you to reflect on a different time, to think of a time when someone listened to you, when they really paid attention. To remember how that felt, what that experience was like. I have a former coworker from my last workplace, a college campus, which of course is always a very busy place with lots going on. And every time I saw her, she always very calmly paused, looked me in the eye, and said, "And how are you doing, Amy?" Now, it wasn't the typical, "How are you doing? How's things going?" The greeting that so many of us give to other people. And that's what most of us do, right? We are nice, or try to be nice, as we hurry along to whatever is waiting for us next, or whatever we think we should be doing with our time. Or perhaps we do ask, "Well, how are you doing?" But we really don't want an authentic answer, right? We don't want someone pouring their heart out to us. It might be inconvenient for us. It might be someone that we don't know that very well. It might detract from whatever it is we really want to be doing otherwise. But when someone truly pays attention to us, when they truly want to know how it is with our soul, what a gift. I'm sure I will be, many years from now, remember this former coworker and that very focused attention she always offered to me, and I know to other coworkers, in the midst of whatever craziness was taking place on campus that day. Now, as we think about world religions, all of the religions of the world have one basic principle which is important for us to remember today as we think about offering attention to others. Now, there's slightly different words to this, but the core message that the world religions have in common is treat others the way you want to be treated. Right? Treat others the way that you want to be treated. All of us here, we know how it has felt to have someone not listen to us, not pay attention to us. So why would we want someone else to feel the way that we have felt on occasion? And I'm sure that all of us here do know what it feels like when someone truly does see us and offer us attention. It is such a gift. Such a gift. Philosopher, mystic, social activist Simone Weil wrote, "Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity." Now, generosity is one of the core 7 values we have as Unitarian Universalists. And what a gift we offer to others when we truly pay attention to them. Now, you might be familiar with the Sanskrit word namaste. Many of you might have said that, perhaps at the end of a yoga class, right? It literally translates, "The divine in me sees the divine in you." We see the divine in another. We pay attention to the divine in another when we offer namaste. So what are some ways that we can offer attention to others? We know its value, its importance, how it's a core principle for us and our values, and how we want to live out who we are as Unitarian Universalists, how it is that we want to embody this along our own spiritual journeys. So how do we live this out? The first thing is we pay attention to our own inner divine light. before we can truly offer that attention to another person, we pay attention to our own selves. This is something that Thich Nhat Hanh embodies so beautifully throughout his life and his teachings. It starts with our own inner journey. Now, it reminds me of the phrase from the New Testament, love others as much as you love yourself. Now, a lot of people kind of forget that last little part, because we can't truly love others if we don't love ourselves first. And we certainly cannot offer deep attention to others if we don't do that for ourselves first. Now, paying attention to ourselves means that we set aside time for ourselves, and we do this in an ongoing, regular way, not just a special occasion of, oh, I think I'm going to do this in a few weeks when I'm going to go spend a couple hours by myself. But an ongoing, regular, everyday part of our lives, we pay attention to ourselves. We care for our spirits, our souls, our bodies, and our minds. We listen to how divine presence speaks to us in our lives. Now, this can be done in so many different ways. We might spend some time out in creation, connecting with all the beauty of creation around us. We might work with a dream that we had where it seems like there's some kind of inner message for us. We might work with some images like we do in our soul collage classes and see how that speaks to us. It might be through the words of a beloved friend. Some words that they share with us, perhaps not even that intentionally, that really reflects back to us. Or it might be in a sacred writing or reading, something that speaks to our spirits. Paying attention to ourselves is not easy in this world. It takes time and space. But it's also the first step in offering attention to others. So, how do we offer attention to others? We firstly offer attention to ourselves. And we secondly offer attention to others by being intentional. Intentional. Paying attention does not happen by accident. It occurs with intention. Now, we can be intentional by setting aside things that might distract us and focusing on the person before us. During my years of biblical studies in the New Testament, one thing that really struck me, and I remember sitting in seminary as a young 23-year-old in a New Testament class, and it struck me that some of the most important interactions that Jesus had with people was as he was going from one place to the next. He's traveling, and he stops everything and intentionally focuses on someone who needs his attention. He set aside what others considered more important, and he focused on that person. Now, for us in our lives, we all have so much to do. We can get caught up in so many things. But being intentional, recognizing when someone needs that attention from us or from someone. And once we recognize that, thinking about our body language as well. Looking people directly, trying to really see them, not being distracted by whatever is going on around us, leaning forward, focusing on that person. I continue to think about my former coworker who meant it. She was intentional when she asked how I was doing. No matter what distractions were happening, she was intentional in asking me. She was always 100% present on me and me alone. So we offer attention to others by first offering attention to ourselves. Secondly, being intentional. And thirdly, listening. This might sound kind of obvious, okay? But we live in a society where listening to others does not come easily. People in our society are encouraged and given so many opportunities to offer their opinions or advice and share what they think no matter what the topic is. Now, it might be online and all the different ways we can do that. But I even think about sitting with groups of people, and it comes more easily for most of us in this society where the individual is encouraged to be an individual and to speak. People want to speak first and to have their words heard more than truly listening to someone else. When we truly offer attention to another person, we will listen far more than we actually speak. And that's not what our society encourages. I think a good rule of thumb for us, and I try to remember this myself because I don't always do it, right? I don't always do it, is when we're in some kind of conversation to pause for several seconds before speaking. Now, if the other person continues to speak during this pause, then our words can wait. Now, we might feel compelled to say something along the lines of, oh, yes, I hear you, I understand. Here's something similar I dealt with, right? Or here's what you should do. The words from Thich Nhat Hanh today remind us that even if we hear something that, sounds like, oh, I disagree with that, or I need to tell them what to do, it's important for us to offer our listening skills. Keeping our words to ourselves is one of the most important ways we can pay attention to others. Now, even if someone is asking for advice from us, it's important for us to be very thoughtful in responding to that. Because sometimes it's easier to have someone else tell us what to do than to listen to our own selves, right? That's the first step, listening to ourselves. As we are truly listening to another and offering attention to them, if they're asking us for advice or guidance, if this is something they can figure out by connecting with their own divine light, we should help create the environment where they can best hear that light. We might offer words along the lines of, well, how can I best support you? Or perhaps, what does your own divine light tell you about this? And then let them lead in that conversation. Now, another saying that comes to mind that I hear often in this society is, misery loves company, right? We've all heard that, yes. And someone who needs attention does not need to hear about someone else telling a personal story, which may or may not apply in that story, in that situation. I often think about what it was like when I was pregnant, and anyone who's been pregnant, I'm sure will be able to identify with me. Yeah, I was very miserable for 8.5 months. It was not a fun time in my life. Love my son, so glad he's here in this world. I was miserable. And someone would say, well, how are you doing, Amy? I'd say, oh, well, he won't move for 3 months. He's just right here. And so many very well-intentioned, older women would say, oh, I know exactly, and then start telling their own horror stories, right? One, it would make me even more scared about what I was having to go through. But it also, I just needed someone to listen, right? To offer attention to me. Now, as we're truly trying to offer attention to to another person, and saying, how can I best support you? Now, if the person says something along the lines of, what did you do in this situation? Then it's fine to go ahead and offer words, right? Let them lead what they might want to hear from us. But otherwise, I know it's hard. Just need to keep this closed. I'll say it's especially true with any pregnant woman, right? So we offer attention to others, firstly, by paying attention to ourselves. Secondly, by being intentional. Thirdly, by actively listening and not talking. And lastly, by focusing on inclusion. Focusing on inclusion. Now, I truly believe that most people don't mean to be exclusionary. Most people don't mean to be exclusionary. I think most of us were just living our lives, being who we are, and not realizing how words or actions can ignore others or perhaps lead to exclusion. If we don't go out of our way, to include others, especially people who are pushed on the margins of this society, then we are complicit with exclusion, and we are agents of exclusion. Now, inclusion is another primary value we have as Unitarian Universalists, and it goes back to being intentional. When we truly offer attention to others, we will better hear and hopefully comprehend how they have been excluded or harmed in this world. I think one of the ways that I was able to really begin to understand this more fully was in all the years I was a college chaplain, and I'd have young students come into my office and open up to me about the deep exclusion they had felt from families and churches because they were part of the LGBTQ plus community. In my early years, 25 years ago, hearing this story from a young student, it dawned on me as I was trying to really listen to him that I had never had to think twice about my own sexuality and had never dealt with exclusion because of it. And for this young man, not just his family, close loved ones, but so many other small ways he had to deal with this on an ongoing daily basis. Now, exclusion comes in so many forms, and we are called to do our own homework to uncover the ways that we might unintentionally exclude people in our world. Okay, we're called to do our own homework. The people who are forced on the margins in our society are not responsible for educating us. It's not their responsibility. It is our responsibility to really look at the big and small ways that we might just be unaware and not living out the value of inclusion. Including everyone. And as Thich Nhat Hanh reminded us, even those with whom we might really not understand or want to say something back, including everyone and being very intentional about that is a primary way that we offer attention to others. Reverend Ben Sternke wrote, "You cannot love something or someone you do not truly see. You cannot love someone or something you truly do not see." And we know an essential part of seeing someone is paying attention to them. Today, let us give thanks for the many people who have offered attention to us throughout our lives, and let us renew our commitment to more fully offer attention to others, especially those who've been most pushed on the margins of our world. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you, Ian. Time for giving. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with Blueprint North Carolina. With their partners, Blueprint North Carolina works towards inclusive and anti-racist democracy rooted in civic engagement through movement building and mobilization. Our host will pass around the baskets, and we ask that you pass the baskets down your row when you receive it. You may place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room, and you are always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for these many generous gifts which you offer for others in this world today. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn. It's found in your Till hymnal, number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. Before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many people who help make our service possible and all of our wonderful volunteers on Sunday. I also ask before you leave if you are able to help take the hymnals back to the cart near the piano. That's always a big help. Now, as we do each Sunday, let us take a few moments to give thanks either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for what we're grateful today.
Grateful
For
for spring.
spring, yes. Yes, turn of the wheel.
I'm grateful for all of those who gathered here last night to celebrate the spring.
Yes. Thankful for all those who gathered here last night to celebrate the spring, and say for Cosette and leading our wonderful cups rituals.
I'm thankful for Thursday night for kids, the food pantry that's been really helpful for me.
Wonderful, for wonderful food pantry.
I'm grateful for being introduced to the concept when someone comes to talk to me of asking if they want me to listen or if they want feedback.
Mhm. Thank you, Hex. Yes, for our online viewers, for concept of when someone comes to talk, if they want us to listen or to offer some feedback. So,
I'm grateful for my granddaughter, who's proven herself to be a wonderful mother to
and granddaughter who's been a wonderful mother to that wonderful little great grandbaby. So, yeah. We are grateful for all these things and so much more which we hold in our hearts today. Let us go forth with ears and eyes and hearts open to offer attention to those around us. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light with us, its warmth and its meaning we continue to carry with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander.